You want to see it? I'm not lying. I don't really need to. I actually read something much faster in English. I'm not lying. No. Don't try to actually say that. No, I want to actually write it down. No, I don't actually read a Korean first. I actually, even while I was watching this in a section, I saw the English. Yesterday it snowed more than yesterday. And you want to actually fight a snowball? No, Punky didn't really want to go out. Yeah, I saw it. After interviewing with the Monica Lewinsky. I never hesitated. That's really a bullshit. 기다린 적 없어요. 그건 진짜 치사한 얘기예요. 왜냐면 그냥 어떤 사이트 들어갔을 때 기다린 적 없어요. 그냥 아무거나 주세요. 그럼 볼게요. 이거는 before Hitler came Deutschland on its way to dictator in 1980. That was Berlin 23rd and March during the official life. Already actually lived, technically written down Heihentaga that has been in almost 2/3 of the actual people already lift up the constitutional law from the people and the nation to inaugurate the new chancellor, and this is on its own power following from the constitution, which has been changed against the parliamentary rule by manipulating the situation, which is completely disempower to actually become a dictator, dictator, the German Hitlers. The actual power of use and literally enabled him to become the chancellor against the majority of German people by abusing the constitution to run away from the parliamentary rule. He'd been completely sequestered the High-Hentag German parliamentary institution. 건데요. Oh, I know him. Daniel, whatever, right? The ghost town, ghost country. China in quarantine. 하루에 5분씩 일상 영어. Touring and votes for minister president. I don't really need to. The sacred country from America and it's the operation of all powerful Biden erwähnte Anhänger dieser Kampagne wollte senden, das meinte entkraften Donald Trump. Saying the Trump-Hacking meinte schießen Donald Trump außer der Büro. Das meinte entkraften Donald Trumps Präsident. Das ist, was diese Kampagne machen wollte. Und würde am Ende. I don't really get typo. I don't really need to. Just simply read it. That doesn't mean, Chinese people are really crazy after yogurt. They're really dying to have it. I don't really need to. New Silk Road. I don't really actually read it. What my problem is, and Voto Hamlo again is, when get elected as a touring and minister president, I saw it. But the problem is, I don't really need to actually wait if I just perceive it. The only time that I'm spending is when the moment that I needed to speak another language. For the translation or interpretation, I need a minimum amount. But I actually read what's been presented. Hitler truly stayed inside the sequestered the parliamentary institution called the High-Hentag. He literally, against the majority of people's wish, manipulated the constitution to inaugurate his chancellorship with his stooges, which and I have to actually say that his supporters and followers who completely disobeyed the rules and the institution of the German Constitution by weakening the clauses that would have prevented dictatorship like that. I saw it. 그렇게 적혔었어요. I saw it. 진짜 정말 빨리 갔어요. 밑에 자막. 왜냐면은 너무 쉬워요. European high-ranking officials dropped by the border region in Turkey to address the crisis, the European high-profile leaders stopped by the border in Turkey. 이렇게 적혀있어요. Europäische Spitzen stoffen in Grenzgebiet in Turkey. When the doctor makes a mistake, miracles in memory. Oh, Michael Bloomberg sustained the 2020 election. I don't really need to think twice in English. I read something in English really fast. The next outbreak, we're not ready. Eric Honecker, the DDR, the leader. A conversation with Bernie. He managed the Obama campaign, and he already managed the Obama campaign, and here's his advice for the 2020 Putin's Revenge in Part 1. I don't really need to keep it. Hi everyone, it's Emma from Recent. Today I'd like to help you develop your speaking skills. This is important because obviously students are really nervous when they were speaking English, and they try to use a few words and a few sentences as possible by minimizing the words. This is what we call monosyllabic sentences. And I'm going to be teaching you a couple of structures to develop your speaking. She actually said that, and many, foreign speakers had a tendency to use, the minimum amount of words and phrases, as few words and as a few sentences as possible. This is called the monosyllabic. They just really wanted to actually, simplify the structure of sentences because they have no other resources. They have no internal resources to rely on. This is called the monosyllabic, according to this Emma lady from the Briefsaint. Briefsaint is the English structure that today she is going to teach us a couple of ways that could explain the gamut and the width and a breadth of English structures. In that way you can communicate with other foreigners fluently without running into a stone wall, which would completely abreach your sentences by keeping them at its minimum, because you have no greater capacity to extend the length of the sentences, because you don't really actually have the basic blocks that are actually, as a major components that are needed to stack up to expand the width of the sentence and extend the length of the sentence. You don't really have them, according to her, this lady called Emma. I actually read it. This will be very helpful to build up your speaking skills, according to her. So, Super Tuesday results are good and bad for Donald Trump. Yay. But the problem, I actually I personally say it this way. As a coronavirus looms, probably Democrats feel that, we don't probably need to have such a radical choice like Bernie Sanders. Probably we can resort to the classical bot like, Joe Biden. Because, Donald Trump's forte and pro-ish, the greatness in market definitely could experience a sudden setback and downfall to the coronavirus. And this could definitely put him to shame, or at least, pushing him in the shade. Then we can easily actually win back the White House by having the Democratic president back in the Oval Office. Then that could be attainable. Maybe this, sense of insecurity concerning the global economy could also give a greater strength in the Democratic Foundation. They do not need to use such a wild card whose predictability can be still questionable. On the other side, even if Donald J. Trump somehow managed to turn things around and to control the economic turmoil in the markets by obtaining the sustainable economic development up until his re-election, then Joe Biden is an easy game. Right, Joe Biden's relatively vulnerable after he's at 20 years or 3 years in the Senate. No, not even 3 years. It's almost like 4 years, right? His lengthy political career smudged with the taint coming from his deep resume and the ties with the DC culture that could be a juicy flesh to rip off, right? Burisma has never been an exception. But the thing is how he would actually handle the economy. That's really the thing. Without economy, Trump gets nowhere. Everyone knows that, right? It's really easy. Let me actually go.